A new adaptation of Frank Herbert's beloved science fiction novel Dune is almost here, and in anticipation of its release, I've been exploring the unique characters and elements that make up this epic story. In this video, I'd like to explore the Padishah Emperor of the known universe, Shaddam IV of House Corrino, and discuss the impact he has in the story of Dune. In the distant future, a feudal interstellar society exists. Padishah Emperors are the hereditary rulers of the known universe. It is established that the Emperor is the supreme ruler. However, power is shared in a political triad of sorts to keep the delicate balance of power in check, so that no one individual or organization can seize ultimate control and disrupt the political, economic, and social fabric of the universe. This triad consists of the Padishah Emperor and his house, the Landsraad, which is the assembly of all the other noble houses in the Imperium, and the Spacing Guild, the organization with a complete monopoly on interstellar transport that all in the Imperium rely on. By the time the story of Dune begins, the Corrino Empire has ruled for over 10,000 years. Ever since the events surrounding the famous space conflict known as the Battle of Corrin, the house from the planet Seleucia Secundus assumed the imperial throne and adopted the name Corrino thereafter. House Corrino managed to maintain its hold on the empire through the subsequent thousands of years, and Shaddam IV now reigns. Shaddam is the 81st Padishah Emperor of House Corrino to sit on the Golden Lion throne, the lion being the symbol of their house. House Corrino has exerted its considerable influence to keep a tight grip on the empire. Its control of the planet Arrakis, home of the most precious substance in the universe, has certainly contributed to their extended rule, as well as their significant voting powers in the Landsraad and their renowned military strength. The Emperor has what is regarded as the most formidable fighting force in the known universe, the Sardaukar, the dread imperial troops, soldier fanatics that are trained from infancy to use terror and cruelty as weapons, and who have a near suicidal regard for personal safety. They are widely known for their ruthlessness in battle. The balance of power is delicately maintained, as it would take the combined forces of all the other great houses to defeat House Corrino's Sardaukar. The rulership of Shaddam IV began after his father Elroth IX succumbed to a slow-acting poison delivered in his drink. It's rumored the poisoning was done by Shaddam's closest friend and advisor, the Mentat political tactician and assassin, Count Fenring. Since Shaddam's rise to power, his primary concern is to maintain House Corrino's grip on the empire for as long as possible. A concern made all the more relevant by the fact that he has no legitimate sons. There is a fourth, secret branch of power in the universe wielding its influence behind the scenes, the Sisterhood of the Bene Gesserit. Shaddam married a Bene Gesserit of hidden rank who was ordered to produce only daughters to the Emperor. A fully trained Bene Gesserit has ultimate control of her body and can choose at conception the sex of her offspring. This ability and others are a closely guarded secret, as the Sisterhood doesn't want to be seen as a threat to the Empire, as it would ultimately disrupt their plan for humanity. Not all of their abilities are kept secret, however. To outsiders, the Sisterhood exists to serve. Shaddam himself employs the Reverend Mother Gaius Helen Mohayim to serve as his truthsayer. A truthsayer is able to detect deception in others and can determine if a subject is withholding information. Valuable talents and abilities like these are very useful to ruling families, and so many nobles send their daughters to Bene Gesserit schools to be trained. In fact, all 5 of Shaddam's daughters have received Bene Gesserit training. Shaddam has few options available to ensure the continued rule of House Corrino. For the time being, he can only attempt to ensure his reign continues and that he maintains control of the Golden Lion throne. As the Emperor, he knows quite well that one must always be prepared for threats around every corner, not just to his life, but to his throne, and he is willing to protect his rulership no matter the cost. Having no legitimate sons to inherit the empire is not his only concern, however. A relative of his is gaining popularity and influence among the other houses in the Landsraad. This makes Shaddam uneasy at the prospect that the balance of power could be shifting out of his favor, contributing to the likelihood that he could lose his grip on the empire. A popular man arouses the jealousy of the powerful, and that one such popular man is the Duke Leto of the noble house Atreides. His rulership is marked by prosperity, fairness, and strength. He is also a charismatic leader who has gained the loyal devotion of some of the best warriors and strategists in the universe, the likes of which rival the strength and might of his own Sardaukar. If circumstances were different, Shaddam would have thought Leto the perfect choice for a marriage alliance with his eldest daughter Irulan. The Emperor Corrino genuinely respects the Duke of House Atreides and dislikes the situation that makes him his enemy. However, given the current political climate, his determination to maintain the throne outweighs any desire the Emperor would have to ensure the Duke's well-being. This is evident as he conspires with the nefarious House Harkonnen to set a trap for the Duke. When the first novel begins, the Emperor has ordered the Atreides to give up their homeworld of Caladan and to take over stewardship and the spice harvesting operations on Arrakis. Only on this planet is spice found. As such, it is the most valuable planet in the known universe. The Emperor's plan is to install the Atreides on Arrakis and conspire with the Harkonnens to disrupt their spice harvesting operations. Above all things, the spice must flow, so any disruption is met with swift action to rectify it, and such an event would harm Leto's reputation, making them look weak and incompetent. On the surface, this offer may seem like a golden chance to ensure great prosperity for the people of the Atreides noble house. But the Duke is very perceptive, and is able to see this false gift for what it truly is, and knowing there is a trap is the first step in evading it. Of course, what the Emperor does not fully realize are the schemes of the Baron Vladimir Harkonnen, who is nursing seething hatred and jealousy from a centuries-old feud with House Atreides. The fact that Leto is kin to the Emperor and that they didn't have to buy their way into a position of power like the Harkonnens further adds to the Baron's motivation to bring an end to the Duke and his bloodline. The desired result for Shaddam is to greatly diminish the reputation and strength of House Atreides. However, the Emperor's involvement in this scheme must remain a secret from the rest of the great houses, and so the Baron must be the one to orchestrate and execute this plot against the Atreides, while Shaddam secretly supplies legions of his own ruthless Sardaukar soldiers to bolster the Harkonnen troops and ensure the downfall of House Atreides. Any regard the Emperor has for the Duke is nothing compared to his fear of losing the throne. Even though the Emperor is an older man in his 70s, he still maintains a fair amount of mental sharpness and youthful vigor. It is said that he looks as if he's in his mid-30s. He is described as a slim and elegant man. His military uniform is gray with silver and gold trim. He has a thin face, red hair, with eyes like that of a predatory bird. His thin face and cold eyes even reminds the Baron of the Duke Leto. The Emperor has previously been portrayed by José Ferrer in David Lynch's 1984 adaptation. In that version, the character is said to be over 200 years old, which is certainly a departure from the book. That being said, the actor definitely looked very young for being 200. This character was also played by Giancarlo Giannini in the Sci-Fi Channel miniseries. While not actually appearing in the first half of Frank Herbert's Dune, he is often mentioned, and the weight and power of his rulership looms large in the minds of the characters. For this reason, I can see why in previous adaptations he was included early on in the story. I don't think it's likely that we will see the Emperor in the first installment of Villeneuve's two-part adaptation. This is evidenced by the lack of a casting announcement or the inclusion of the character in promotional material so far. However, the Emperor will certainly have a significant role to play in the second part of this story, and knowing his hand in the events that trigger the plot of the novel makes his appearance at the end of the book have all the more impact. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did, and be sure to subscribe for more Dune and other sci-fi and fantasy content. And let me know who you would like to see cast for Emperor Shaddam IV, and whether you would like to see him appear in the first film of this two-part adaptation. Thank you all so much for your support, and as always, have a very nerdy day.